This is the last look of Tony Soprano before his world turns to black. This is the end of the classic episode, final episode of The Sopranos entitled Made in America. But to understand what happens in Made in America, we have to look at the last two episodes. Episode 19, titled The Second Coming, and then episode 20, The Blue Comet. And we will take a look at the highlights of those episodes so we could get a better understanding of what happens to Tony Soprano in the end. I've watched years of YouTube videos in 13 years since the end of the series. By the way, this video is being made in December of 2020. And let me tell you, all the videos that I've seen on YouTube are wrong. This one is correct. I am the first that, first and only, because anything after number one doesn't really count now, does it? Because I already discovered it. But I know what happened to Tony Soprano. I know who set him up, and I know how he died. In fact, I'm going to tell you, 1 second later, Tony is going to get his brains blown out. It's going to be gruesome. It's going to be horrific. Blood and brains are going to be all over Carmela and Anthony. Meadow, who just opened the door, is going to see her father's head literally explode. It's going to be like JFK times 10. It's going to be horrific. And maybe that's why David Chase didn't show it. And you're asking, well, how do I know this? Well, I'm going to explain it. I'm going to show you. And by the end of this video, you'll agree with my theory on the fact that Tony got his head blown off. And you're going to agree with the individual that I know set him up. So let's get started. This is the beginning of Tony's problems. His son AJ and his suicide attempt.
Help! My arms! They're frozen!
Hey, Jay, what the fuck?
Help! Help! Help!
Could have been a cry for help.
Aren't you listening? He did cry for help. He's lucky I came home and heard him.
I meant the botched attempt. On some level, he may have known that the rope was too long to keep him submerged.
I could just be a fucking idiot. Historically, that's been the case.
When it rains, it pours. Tony's world is about to get worse. Look at this guy. You know he's about to cause trouble. Let's take a look.
So it's front row mezzanine, a graveyard, and the guy says there's...
Excuse me. You're Tony Soprano's kid, right?
Yeah.
Small world running into you like this, huh?
I'm sorry, do I know you?
Yeah, you got a little cream on your mouth there, sweetie. Be happy to add to it.
What?
Excuse me.
Lucky guy, her dad. Must be fun tucking her in at night, huh?
Is there a problem?
Not yet. Would you like one? We'll go. Come on.
What? I'm saying hello.
Come on, let's go. Hey, thanks to your dad, huh?
Do you know a guy named Coco?
Why?
She was out on a date last night, and he came over and pulled some crap.
What? How?
We were in the city, Little Italy, and we were having dessert, and he came up out of nowhere and just started saying all this weird stuff.
What kind of weird stuff?
How he'd like to tuck me in at night, stuff like that.
Tuck you in?
Smell the sambuca on his breath.
What exactly did he say?
And then he said I had whipped cream on my mouth.
Okay, folks, I'm doing this video on my telephone. It's not going to be perfect, okay? The content is what matters, not the production value. Let's keep it rolling.
Some peppers and cheese. Cayenne roll, alright? Again.
Whoa, whoa!
Sit down. Sit down. Easy. Motherfucker.
Fucking daughter! My fucking daughter! Motherfucker, my fucking daughter!
Hey, you see I'm fucking with this?
Tony, you're making a big fucking mistake here.
I'm gonna put a bullet in your fucking head, huh?
Don't do it. Want some?
So, the reason I'm here, you could probably guess.
What happened at Coco's restaurant? I lost it. Timing couldn't have been worse, but what the fuck?
So you go to Phil, I go with you, hats in hand, bend the knees. Butch, how are you?
Phil is not accepting visitors right now.
I just talked to him on the phone, Butchie.
Well, I just talked to him in person. He ain't seeing nobody.
What's going on, Butch? I just brokered this thing. He came here to make a peace offering. A semi-trailer of drills, Lakitas.
You know what your fucking drills?
Fuck it. Let's go.
That's right, cocksucker. Go back to New Jersey.
Phil, what are you doing?
Take that piece of shit and get off my stoop.
But we just talked about this.
Well, cooler heads prevailed.
Uncle Philly,
Uncle Philly, my ass.
will you just come down so we can discuss this?
There's nothing left to discuss, Carmine.
Hey, Sleeping Beauty. Didn't sleep a wink. No.
That sounds like Junior's
I
voice.
just said already. He cheats. Hello, honest.
But we end the
You just haven't played for so long.
episode, the second coming, with AJ in the mental hospital. And let's move on. Let's go on to the next episodes. And the next one coming up is the Blue Comet. And we're going to continue to put this thing together. The Setup Girl is next. Here we are in the Blue Comet episode. Before we get to the Setup Girl, we have to check out Phil. He's making plans.
Listen, I've made a decision. Historically, Carmine always said the Sopranos are nothing more than a glorified crew. Plain and simple. We decapitate and we do business with whatever's left. There's no scraps in my scrapbook. Make it happen.
Here we visit AJ again. Take a look at the other inhabitants of the hospital here. But look at the girls, especially. I mean, don't they look like they need to be hospitalized? I mean, really. They look like they have problems. They look troubled. Take a look at this one here with cuts on her leg.
Rhiannon?
AJ?
Rhiannon. Doesn't she look different from the other girls? I mean, she looks like she has no problems whatsoever. What's she even doing there? She's there for a reason. Believe me. Say hello to the setup girl.
You first.
I have some food issues, depression.
She's lying.
You keep up with her non?
He's a fucking slime ball.
I caught him finger banging my cousin on the ski lift.
Well, somebody said you were modeling.
Yeah, I guess. I signed with Elite.
She's so happy.
So
Tony's at war.
Talking about Phil.
We gotta hit first. And this all dovetails with other information I got that this cocksucker already has a target on my back. It's a big move.
The New York crew, they're making a big move too.
Three pops. Within a tight time frame, 24 hours. So there's no chance for them to hit back. Top three guys.
All you got the area?
No, management. Tony Soprano, obviously. Plus Silvio Dante, and we think Bobby Buckley Airy.
The plan to kill Tony's crew is underway, starting with Bobby. Next is Sil.
Yeah, that's them there.
Tony's on high alert. Look at the sawed-off shotgun. All right. Tony's warning Carmela that she got to go. She has to move.
Moving, like I said, it's just a
what
precaution.
about your sister?
Calm.
Netta was basically living at Patrick's, thank God. AJ, how are we gonna get him to go along? He won't leave his room, let alone the house.
He's gonna leave the house.
He's depressed.
On a piece of plywood if necessary, but he's gonna leave the house.
It says Shukr Jamai brought nuclear material into the country from Mexico in 2002.
Now take a look at this scene. Didn't she say she had food issues and depression? That's what she told AJ. She lied. She's neither depressed or bulimic. But look at AJ. In the bed, in broad daylight. He's depressed. Seriously, seriously depressed. She's not depressed. No way.
Leave us alone, hon.
Hang downstairs.
Better yet, don't.
Walks out with an attitude, shaking her head. Didn't Tony just tell her to go home?
He's riding high. Nice.
Tony's dead. No, he's sleeping. But he looks dead, doesn't he? Looks like he's in a casket right now. This is an example of foreshadowing. And here we are at the classic Made in America episode of The Sopranos, the final episode, and it's a classic. Now, in this episode, David Chase, he gives us all the clues that we need to tell us what happened to Tony, who set him up, and how he died. It's all in this episode. And if you view it and pay attention, you could actually see Tony's death, although or albeit in your mind, but It'll be vivid because he gives us all the clues, and I'm going to point all of them out to you. Starting with this scene, the music is very, very important. Did you hear that click? That's the clock radio. This is an example of diegetic music, which means Tony can hear it.
New York's classic rock.
Here's that music again. Now this is non-diegetic music because Tony can't hear it. Only we, the audience, can hear this song. But it's the most important music in the episode, not the Journey song, this one.
I went to see Sil. And Gab. Oh my God, Tony.
Yeah.
Are you being careful?
And look who walks down.
This kind of bothers me.
Who's she gonna tell?
This scene is the most important scene in the episode. Not the death scene at the end, this scene. Let's take a look at it.
Bye-bye. Wave bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye, Papa. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye.
I gotta make a phone call. Meet you at the drugstore. Tell the goddamn pharmacist to call Dr. Iaconis. I should get a 60-day supply of the platinum.
Phil's head is about to get squashed like a watermelon. Blood is going to go everywhere. We see the reaction of the people at the gas station. A kid throws up, a man. Everyone's in shock when they see this SUV run over his head. And we hear the crack when it happens. And so we know that his head explodes. We know it. But the music that's playing in the background is the most important aspect of this scene because it's the same music that Tony wakes up to. And in that scene when Tony wakes up, he's dead. Or he looks like he's dead. He looks like he's in a casket. We know that Phil dies in this scene, playing this music. And then, previous to this, they played the music again with Tony. And the last part of the music where it goes, da-da, 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 that's the same music that's playing when Phil gets his head crushed. That's how we know that Tony's head explodes in the final scene. That's foreshadowing, folks. Great job, David Chase. Now, Carmela speaks. She never speaks.
Oh, listen, we're not eating at home tonight. I thought we'd go to Holston's.
You should be that man to go.
Carmela says, we're not eating at home tonight. I thought we'd go to Holston's. AJ's like, okay. But look at who's all ears. Why does she care? She's the setup girl. She's Tony Soprano's Lady in Red. Here's the hitman. We know he's the hitman. He's wearing a members-only jacket, something that was talked about in the very first episode of the season, members only. And the person who wore the members-only jacket, Gene Pintacorvo, died in that episode. But also, we see the importance of this man. Look how he covers up all the area in this shot, and covers AJ, who the most important person in this shot is most definitely this unknown person. And so I'm not going to spend too much time on the final scene, because we know what happened. We know Tony died, and we know this guy did it. So let me explain to you why Rhiannon is the setup girl, and why or why Tony's head was blown up like a watermelon, brains and guts everywhere, brains and skull everywhere, I should say, in the restaurant. Why did that happen? How did that happen? I'm going to explain it. Okay, this is Phil Leotardo's crew, led by Butch, and they're planning the hit on Tony Soprano right now in Butch's salon. And the most important part in this scene is this picture right here. Take a look at it, folks. That's Rhiannon. That's Rhiannon. And it's not a coincidence. She showed up at the mental hospital after Phil made his plans to hit Tony. The job of these wise guys is to get close to Tony so they could kill him. And Tony, he's very street smart, very insulated. So how can they get close to this guy? Through his idiot son. And they plant this girl who's an elite model, and this is an elite model picture. This is what they do. This black and white shots. This is elite, and this is her elite shot. That's Rhiannon, folks. There's no doubt about it. That's Rhiannon. Slam dunk, babe. And this could be Rhiannon too. But if it's not, really doesn't matter, because we know the first shot is Rhiannon without a doubt. There's Tony with this reliable double-barreled sawed-off shotgun. We've seen this before. This isn't the first time we've seen Tony with his shotgun. And this weapon will be used to deliver his death. Okay, once again, the foreshadowing. Listen to the very end of the song. See, take a look at this scene one more time. Listen to the music, of course. That's the song of death in this episode. Vanilla Fudge's You Keep Me Holding On. remake of a great Supremes classic, by the way.
Tell the goddamn pharmacist to call Dr. Iaconis. He should get a 60-day supply of the platinum.
Okay, he gets shot at close range, but his head doesn't explode. See, we know Tony gets shot, but his head explodes because of the foreshadowing that we hear in this scene, and we go back to the previous scene. The musical foreshadowing. His head is crushed, explodes. And the music. Tony's head explodes. Here's why. Red herring. All of this means nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is what means something. Beth, right across from Tony. He could come out undetected and blast him. And that's what he does. Take a look, folks. It's Rhiannon for sure. She set up Tony. Want a better view? That's the pic hanging on the wall in Butchie's place. It's no coincidence. All the clues point to Rhiannon. It's Rhiannon. So how do I know that Tony got his head blown off? Rhiannon. She's the setup girl. How else would they know where they were going to eat? In this scene right here, she's listening intently. And she tells the New York mob that they're going to eat at Holston's. So, a la The Godfather, they planted the sawed-off shotgun in the bathroom. We've seen it a million times in the Michael Corleone scene. And that's what they did here in The Sopranos. They planted that shotgun in there. And he came out blasting. And it was a gruesome, gruesome end to Tony Soprano. David Chase, are you watching? How'd I do? Well, I thank all of you for checking out my video. And if you have questions or you want to debate me, just contact me at tms@servicestarnetwork.com, or you can call 1-844-595-8859, and I promise I'll get back in touch with you. But I know for sure this is what really happened to Tony Soprano. The clues are right there. All you have to do is read them. My name is Rodney Pearson. Thank you for watching.